Yeah, the Philippines is reopening to tourists. How about that? We're going to take a look at that and a few things to consider as the date approaches. So I hope you'll stick around. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of USA to Philippines Life channel with your host, me, Mike. And I'm here today to weigh in. I know there's a gazillion videos out there talking about that the Philippines is reopening for tourism February 10th. They're dropping the mandatory facility-based quarantine upon arrival on February 1st, which is day after tomorrow, as I'm filming this. So, yeah, I think that's a little sooner than anybody anticipated, yet here we are. But before we get into it, just want to remind everybody, if you'd be so kind, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing if you haven't already. It helps the channel a lot, and we really appreciate all the support. So let's get back into the news. So again, the big news of the day is the Philippines is reopening to tourists. I want to just point out that earlier this year I had posted a video about staying positive, basically staying positive in the face of things not looking too good, because back around the holidays things were not looking too good. We were looking at this Omicron surge and things were locking up. Here in the New York area alone, we got clobbered with the Omicron cases, and as quick as it surged, it's dropping off. Even my surgery, those of you who are familiar with the channel and watch the channel, you know that I've got some minor surgery scheduled that I was advised to get taken care of prior to my fall trip to the Philippines. So I had scheduled the surgery for January the 11th. Had all my pre-admission testing getting all ready, and about a week from the surgery date was told that due to staffing issues at the hospital, they had to postpone it. So be that as it may, lo and behold, as quick as this storm came upon the world, the clouds have parted, and we're looking at this reopening that's imminent. So that's a good thing, and I know a lot of you guys are waiting to get there. So just make sure you got your vaccine status in order. Make sure you have your get the yellow card that I also did the video about. If you don't have, your state doesn't have the app where you can have a digital QR code of your vaccine status. So definitely make sure you're up on all that if you're going to be going real soon. The other thing I wanted to talk about was airline prices. So with the Philippines reopening, I'm always checking the airline prices, keeping an eye on it, what's going on. I know when I first went to the Philippines, to my amazement, it was just me traveling round trip. Was New York to Hong Kong, then Hong Kong to Manila was round trip, and then that in reverse. Plus all my inner domestic flights, Manila to Iloilo and back and forth. All of that was less than $1,000 back then. Granted, it was months in advance that I booked the flight, and then I messed up and missed the flight. And even missing the flight, it just was like a couple $100 that mistake cost me, so it wasn't too bad. But right now the airline prices are quite high, so I would say shop around. Do your homework. If you're not familiar, if you're one of the guys that are new to this international traveling and all that, do your due diligence, shop around, Google Flights, Skyscanner, Expedia. I like Expedia. Expedia seems to be pretty good. I use Expedia most of the time. Prices are always in line with the cheaper prices. They have multiple payment options, including PayPal, which is great. So that makes it easy. Plus, the app is fantastic for searching. But you want to book in advance, and if you can't wait and you got the dough and you want to get there quick and you want to get there as soon as the country opens, then you're going to pay. You're going to pay through the nose. So we hope that with things opening up, and it's not just the Philippines, it says travel around the world seems to be ramping up. So hopefully the airline prices will start to come down. That would be a good thing. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of the world economy hinges on the United States economy, which right now is not doing that good. I'm not going to get into the politics because it's not that kind of channel, but right now, not good. So I would think for the foreseeable future, at least the next couple of years, these prices are going to be on the high side. So definitely try to book a couple months in advance. If you were looking to save money, if money's an issue to you, I would recommend that. So the other thing we have to watch out for, variables that could cause us to go into reverse mode again. Unrest around the world. You see what's going on with Russia, NATO, the United States, and Ukraine over there. I don't think that's really going to impact travel to Southeast Asia, but China is kind of watching what's going on over there. And if Russia does move on the Ukraine, they're not met with the proper response from NATO and the US, I would expect China to take that as their cue to make whatever moves they're waiting to make on that side of the world. And I think if that is the case, that's going to cause things to kind of lock up again. So that's something to keep in mind. Keep in tune with world events. And I'm talking to the guys who aren't used to traveling, that want to get over there and be with their ladies in the Philippines. Just keep tuned in to what's going on in the world, just so you know what's happening. You're going to be taking one of those flights that stop in Taipei. I did that one. Actually, it was a flight home one year. Actually stopped in Taipei. I was in Taipei for several hours stopover. Beautiful airport. Enjoyed it. Would love to spend some time in Taiwan. My wife was there for several years working, and it's supposed to be very nice. However, it is one of those areas to watch. So you might want to potentially avoid stopovers in there if you see that starting to heat up like I was just talking about. These are all things to look at when you're making your plans. And the other thing is to keep up with what's going on with COVID. Keep your ear to the ground. New variants popping up. Things like that. You don't want to get stuck out of the country. If you're just going there for a visit, just want to make sure that you don't get stuck over there if you're only there for a limited time. Like us, when we go, it's going to be the better part of a month. A lot of things can happen in a week or two. So we're going to be watching ourselves what's going on. So these are just little things to consider while the Philippines reopening is great news. And all the other videos that you're seeing on YouTube, people are talking about how, the great news and everything, and it is cause for celebration. There's no two ways about it. And I think in my video where I was saying to think positive, the world is learning to live with COVID. It has to, and that's what this is all boiling down to. Even if they do reverse a little bit, we're not going to see the dramatic lockdowns that we saw in the early days of the pandemic. So that should put everybody at ease. So I just wanted to jump on and weigh in. I see a lot of videos. I wanted to get on and do a live stream this weekend, but Mother Nature had a other plan for me as we got hit with nor'easter here in this part of the country. I don't know if you saw it on the news. It was quite a bit of snow. For some areas, we got spared though. We got about between 6 and 8 inches of snow around here. It wasn't too bad, and it was on a Saturday. I didn't have to spend the entire time at work, but I'm like the control tower. So, I'm constantly on the phone and, touching base with this one, calling that one, making sure this is getting done, making sure that's getting done. And I was back and forth. I'm only right down the street from work, so I didn't get a chance to, in fact, last night I was on the phone so much I didn't even bother going to bed. The phone was ringing all night long. I just slept in my recliner. I didn't want to disturb my wife. So if I seem a little tired, that's pretty much why. But with this big news, I wanted to get on and address it and add my video to the many videos out there this weekend speaking about the wonderful news that indeed the Philippines is reopening to tourism. So that's great news, and I'm looking to hear from you guys that are getting ready to go. Shoot me a comment. Let me know when you're going. I'm excited for you guys that are able to go right away. I wish I could go right away. Unfortunately, we're locked into this hospital job, and we have to go follow the protocol for that much time off. And as I was saying, we have some things to take care of, at the consulate in New York, Philippine consulate before we go. Just renewing some travel documents for my wife. So that's all got to happen, plus my surgery. So that's kind of a bummer. I just hope that while I get all this stuff done, that it doesn't lock back up again. But I was able to go, even if we would have had to have done the quarantine in the hotel, we were still had been able to go. We just chose to wait because we don't want to go there when the country's locked down. That's why we didn't go there sooner as well, because my wife and I, we have things we need to do there. We got some construction that's got to get going, and we have another project that's done that we want to look over and move forward with our plans for that. So we just didn't want to have our movement impeded by lockdowns and things like that. So that's why we didn't go, and we waited. Another good thing with this tourism reopening, real quick before I wrap the video up, they'll issue you the visa upon arrival, which is provided you're coming from a visa-free country like the United States. We're not required to have a visa under normal pre-pandemic. Like when I went to the Philippines, initially just had my passport stamped with the visa upon arrival, and I was good to go. Nothing in advance, and that's the way it's going to be again. When you get there, they'll stamp your passport, and you'll be good for, I believe it's 30 days. But that's the way it was before the pandemic, and that's the way it'll be. The only folks that are going to run into a snag are the guys that are not vaccinated. So you definitely want to keep up on all of that, find out the protocols for the unvaxxed, and you got to still, even for those of us who are vaccinated, we still have to provide them with the PCR test, at least taken at least 48 hours prior, minimum 48 hours prior. We still have to provide them with a PCR test, a negative PCR test, 48 hours prior to departure. So with that, great news. Join in the celebration. I know I don't seem very excited, but like I said, I'm just a little bit tired. But I did want to get my video out there because I think this is tremendous news, and it's what we've all been waiting for. So good news. Again, hit me in the comments. Who's going? When are you going? I want to hear. I'm excited for you guys. Looking forward to hearing those comments from everybody. And again, if you like the video, please give it a like. Please, if you're new to the channel, check out our other videos. Give those a watch. Subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so you get notified of all our future uploads. We've got some cool stuff planned for 2022, including the culmination of 2022 for us is going to be our return to the Philippines, Iloilo specifically. So I hope you'll subscribe, and we want to take you guys along. And if you're new, definitely hit that bell, because you don't want to miss a single upload. So with that, I'm going to wrap this video up. And as we always like to say at USA to Philippines Life channel, wherever you are in the world, stay well, stay safe, stay blessed, stay informed, and we'll see you real soon with another video. And I thank you very much for watching. Take care.